All right, welcome everyone. We are now going to begin our Teldio WTS webinar, WTS, the Work Ticketing System. My name is Damitri Silva, D for short. We have here with us Jeff Smith, our head of sales. In the room, we also have Kale Carthus, who takes care of sales for a lot of you as well, and Mark Dabrowski, our head of R&D. In the presentation today, we will do a quick PowerPoint presentation to introduce you to the application, which will be followed by a live demo. And after that, we'll open this up for questions. You will see at the bottom of your screen, there should be a bar with a chat button. After the demo is over, you can enter in any questions you have into that, and then we will answer them as they come in. So, Jeff, I'll hand it over to you now.
Good deal. Thanks, Dee. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, depending on where you're calling from. Welcome to the webinar today. I see a lot of names that I recognize on here, so thank you for joining us today. We're very excited about this new product, and we're going to take you through it now. So, you know, everyone on here probably knows about Teldio, but I'll tell you a little bit about us anyway. We started in 2008. And so we've been developing applications for 10 years now, and that's all we do. We develop applications. We sold a lot of those to you guys. I don't think the slides are moving yet. There we go. So there you can see. So we've been doing this with Motorola for 10 years. And, you know, again, a lot of happy customers out there that you can see on this next slide. There we go. So lots of different customers, lots of different verticals. We have lots of different solutions for all sorts of different size customers and different verticals. Our applications now we're up to 10 applications that we have now that we have added WTS into the system. So you can see that here, all of the different applications we have. Again, we like to be a one-stop shop for all of your applications needs. So we have everything that you need end to end. So you can come to us for all of your apps needs. Now, one way to look at it, instead of just looking at these squares, is to think about your radios as smart radios. And, you know, I know there's a lot of competition out there from people with smartphones. It's important to explain to people all the different things they can do with their radios. And so this is a great graphic that shows you all of the different things that our applications can do with the motor turbo radios. So WTS is actually based on a product that we're just bringing out, which is our Teldio Gateway. And so we build the WTS on top of the Teldio Gateway. Now, that is a piece of hardware that's highly customizable, and it's really a platform for development. So there's any number of different things we can do. We can do custom development on that for you and your customers. One thing to note is this is in general, we're targeting your small to mid-sized customers out there. You know, there's really not a one-size-fits-all application out there, and which I'm sure you already know, but this is one that will help you penetrate some of those smaller customers, a lot of whom are not buying the high-end radios, and will help you upsell to those. So let's talk about WTS and what it is. So we get a lot of requests from people about job ticketing, and that's what WTS is for. So people call and they want to work with job tickets. Well, a lot of customers don't have job tickets in place. Or so let's take hospitality, for instance. Hospitality, there's a lot of hotels out there, and they're just not big enough, and they don't have the budget for hot sauce. Hot sauce is very popular. Hot sauce works well. We can tie into hot sauce with our email gateway, but some customers just don't have the budget for hot sauce. And as a result, they're probably going to go ahead and buy the CP200Ds from you, which is great. But if you could get them into some job ticketing, then we could get them into a higher tier radio. So WTS is a web-based ticket portal, and it is highly customizable. So you actually, and you'll see this in the demo here shortly, you can set everything from the ticket types to the types of tickets that go out. So if you want to send, we'll stay with the hospitality example. So if you want to send to housekeeping, and then you have other tickets that you want to send to engineering or maintenance, you can do that. The other thing is that we can dispatch to radios and also smart devices. So we can do text messages on radios. Can also do our Teldio smart tickets, which if you're not familiar with that, I can show you that another time, but that's something we brought out to make job tickets on Motorola radios better. And then we can also send to smart devices as an email. So this is a great addition to any number of customers who would like to be able to send work tickets to their employees and send them via radios. There's also a lot of tracking of the tickets. So we've got the ability to see how long a ticket's been active. There's also a log that you can go back and see all of the work tickets that you've sent over a period of time and see who's been accepting them, when they've gone out, how long it's taken them to get handled. So to sum up, WTS is an all-in-one solution, very easy to deploy. So it's going to make getting out there and getting it in for the customer very easy for you. Highly customizable. One nice thing about that is that a lot of customers that don't currently have a work ticketing solution don't know exactly what they want. So we can get them started with work tickets, and then you can adapt WTS to their needs over time, depending on the types of tickets they need and whatnot. And the last thing, and one of the most important, is it's affordable. You know, again, we're talking about small and medium businesses. They don't always have the budgets that some of your bigger customers have. And so this is very affordable for them. It's a good way to get into that customer. And now you've got a few different touch points because you're handling their work tickets and their radios. So that was a quick overview of WTS. The important part, though, is to see what it looks like and how it works. And that's what Mark and Dee are going to show you now.
All right, thanks, Jeff. So I'm just bringing up the demo here. Okay. All right, so you should be able to see, as Jeff mentioned, WTS, it's a browser-based software. So it's locally hosted at your customer location. The Teldio gateway that we provide, it comes in with a web server built in it. So all you need to do is give it an IP address, and then the customers will be able to go to that IP and access it. And if they decide that they want to make it public facing, it's just as simple as making that IP a public IP address. But most of your customers, I would assume, would want to keep it in-house. So they would just put an IP address and use the login screen here to log into the system. I am going to log in with an admin account. And this is what the WTS overview would look like once they log in. You can see we have some tickets over here. I will get back to the tickets in a little bit, but I want to kind of go backwards here and show you the different parts of the application. So we have our users. You just saw me log in with the administrative user who has access to everything. So they can manage users, they can manage the contacts, who are the people who can get the tickets, and they can manage the ticket types that Jeff also mentioned earlier. For users, we have two levels, the admin level and then the regular user level. And Mark here is added as a regular user. The difference is a regular user would only be able to just create and send tickets to recipients. Creating a user is quite easy. I just need to create there. So I'm going to add myself here and give them a password, and then I'll just make myself a user. And then the next time I'll be able to log in with those credentials. Another thing we have with users is a log. This is something to help you keep track of how when users logged in, when users were created, when users logged in, and from which IP address, which could be useful when you're just keeping track of who has access to the system. So so you can see we have some IP addresses that were logged on from a Wi-Fi account, from our internal account. So it just tells you what the type of event is. So this is something that's useful just in terms of security and just tracking to keep track of people. Contacts are the people who are who you actually would send these tickets to. So this could be a radio user, a radio group, or an email address. So we have a few users over here. We are sticking to the housekeeping or the hospitality theme here with our demo. So we have a housekeeping radio group right here. We have something to send a message to all the groups and some individual radios that can be reached. Creating a contact, again, it's quite easy. You put the input the contact's name. I'll actually create Jeff as a user here. And then I'll set him up as an email user. Jeff's mobile, so he doesn't really carry around a radio. And okay, so he's added, so we can message him from the system when we need something. If you have, so that's one at a time. Let's say you have a system that has hundreds of users. So instead of doing this at one at a time, we have a way to easily upload the users with the CSV file. You can also, it's also very easy to edit a user. So let's say you actually want to go here and say, this is not, I want to change this to a different ID. Just click edit, it's inline editing, and you just have to hit save, and all the changes are saved right there. Next, I'll take you to ticket type. So this is something that makes WTS somewhat unique, where you can have preset ticket types. Again, sticking to a hospitality scenario, we have a supervisor request, a room service request, a radio notice, and a housekeeping request. And you can see the message types here are different. The idea here is when you're creating a work ticket, you select a type. So it's a housekeeping request. And then you say, I don't want to send this as just as an email. I want to send this or a radio text message. I want to send this as a Teldio smart ticket, which means that when someone takes ownership of it, it'll let the other people know that someone's taking care of it. So there's some intelligence built in there. But if it's a supervisor request, something that they need to have it in an email, they'll just send it out as an email. So these things can be customizable. Again, just create new work ticket type. You just put a name and select the type. Auto is just means if you it just sends to the contact type that you select. So if you have automatic selected and you select the email contact, it'll send it to the email contact. If you have it selected as a radio group, it'll actually send it out as a radio text message. All right. Next up, let's go back to the dashboard. So this is what you see in your dashboard. We actually have 3 tickets that were created recently. As you can see, each ticket has a unique ID. It tells you when it was created and most importantly, how long it's been active for. It'll tell you the type of request, what was in it, and which group we sent it to. And right here, you see the responses, the latest response that we've received from a radio user. So you could, kitchen, if you remember, in the contact list was a group. So we had sent this to the kitchen group, and we'd received the response accept from a certain radio. We got it around 12 minutes ago. I'm going to go ahead and just clear it, say, OK, it's taken care of. I could just do that and remove it from my view there as well. And I see it, but now I'll just actually create a new work ticket. So let's say I have a housekeeping request and I want to send it to the housekeeping group. Actually, before I send it, I want to note out that you don't see any of our email contacts over here. That's because it has the intelligence to know that the housekeeping request is associated with the radio recipient type. So therefore, it will only show the radio recipients. So housekeeping, let's say someone needs new towels. Oh, I did not practice my typing before this. Towels in room 502, and then I hit send. This will send the message to the radios. You might hear some of our radios ringing here. So one of the recipients, okay, so Mark just actually from his radio accepted the ticket. And as you can see, when I get a response as a dispatcher or administrator looking at this, it turns yellow to tell me, to highlight that I've received there's something, there's an update on that radio. So then when they are done the job, they could also send another update. As you can see right there, it just went to close. It just so someone closed that ticket. So once I've seen the update, I can just click to see the to kind of clear my view to show there are no new updates. And now, as always, I can just click the check mark to say that I'm done with the ticket. Again, in terms of login, so all those actions, we also log those again in a CSV file. So I'm going to download my work ticket log. All right, and then once I open it, it's going to tell me, it's going to track everything by ticket ID. It says we generated as a CSV, so it's easier to sort by with the IDs and responses. So you can see everything that we had there, the request I sent. It was created at such and such time by this person. It was accepted by Radio 225, closed by Radio 225, and everything. So every stage of a ticket is logged for your auditing later. All right. So I believe that's everything in a nutshell. We do have since health file, a contextual health file that users can load at any time to show the supported browsers, how to create users, how to manage information. Sorry, I did miss something. So when you have active tickets here, you can actually press this information button to give you a little bit more information about it. But let's say there was a change to the room. Someone actually entered it, if they meant to say 510, they can actually change that ticket and hit resend. And that would go out to the radios again and again. Someone can say, okay, I'll actually go to the other room, and they'll be able to do that. In terms of these responses, a lot of you are familiar with these accept responses that we have, but they can be anything you want with a smart ticket software, whether it be with job tickets or radio text messages. You customize what the response needs to be, and that's what the radio users will send. And you can use, we can support on the go additional custom responses as well in case of text messages where they just type in what they want to respond with. All right, so that is our present live demo of the system. So at this time, we can actually, we will open up the floor to any questions you might have. So that you should see a chat window at the bottom. Please send us any questions you have. All right, so I see a question from Sam. For now, we are only connecting to the system control station. That's the new gateway support MNIST. Mark, I'll let you take that. Yeah.
So in the current version of the gateway, it only does control stations, but there's an update hopefully in the next couple of months that will be coming out that will support direct repeater connection through MNIST. So once we've got that tested and sorted, we'll be sending out another message to everyone to update people.
All right, thank you. We have a question from Jack. Say a job ticket is sent and the user is away from the radio or the radio is off. How will the user be notified? So at this time, we don't have a way to track radios via ARS, but yeah,
So that's where the activity comes into a play, where if a ticket's been inactive for a long time and you see that there's no responses coming back to it, you can resend the ticket and it'll automatically send it back out to the system if the radio turns on.
All right. Question from Pierce: can you use the radio to accept and complete tickets? Yes, yeah, and if that's what the customer wants, to accept and complete tickets, we just program that in the radio, and the radio users can send that back, and we will log every stage of the process in there. We could customize it. What the responses and the stages that they have are completely customizable. So it's not like a hot sauce where you have to hit start and then complete and then close and such, but because when we deployed people, some people, they've said that they don't want all those steps, they only want some of the steps. So this one is really easy. It's just what you program in the radio. They will do, they can customize it. Another question, is there a way now, or is it in the roadmap, to attach files in email mode?
Not currently, but in the roadmap, we can definitely add that as a feature request, yeah. So.
Right, and does the system need to be Cap+? No, it does not. So we support everything from simplex to capacity max. So simplex, conventional repeater, IP side connect, capacity plus, link capacity plus, connect plus, and capacity max. When it comes to Connect Plus, there are some restrictions because they have an option board, so we cannot support smart tickets on there, but everything else is supported. Question: simplex is supported? Yes, simplex. So just direct channels are supported. Yes. Good questions. Keep them coming. Yeah. We have a question as to what the pricing is. Well, reach out to Jeff and Kale. They'll be happy to send you some pricing information. But this is very affordable. There is no per user pricing, so it's just a general single system cost. Depending on the number of users, there might be some installation differences, but it's very affordable. I'm sure. Jeff and Kale will be by their phones to send you guys quotes after the thing. Yeah. Can it be used in conjunction with the email gateway? So, a question from Chris. So the email gateway is for integrating into existing systems. So, and this is for systems where they don't have anything.
Yeah, so the email gateway would be more used for systems where each individual radio user has an email address and receiving tickets that way. With the Teldio gateway, that email address, there's one email address associated with the gateway that it checks for and sends messages out. So that's the differentiation there between how many, if the radio users need unique email addresses themselves.
Yeah. Another question, could you use this to send to pages? So not in a native pager protocol, but if I know there are some pages that can maybe support emails. So in that case, we can send that as an email address, and that could go to that. So, but natively, today we only send to radio, text, job tickets, smart tickets, and emails. Good question. Will you be sending us the demo video? Definitely, yeah. So we've been recording this, and we will send you the demo video. Our marketing team will follow up on that within a week or so. Yeah. Could we get a demo of this? Question from George. So I believe more of a, if you mean to set up actual demo kit in your house, we can discuss that, but at any time, if you have a customer who's interested in this, just give us a call about 24 hours in advance. This is what we demoed today was an in-house system, so and everything can be done remotely, and we'll be happy to do a demo for your customer and yourself as needed. Yeah, we have time for a couple more questions. All right. All right. I think I think those are all the questions. Yeah, I think we're done right on time. So, on behalf of everyone here, thank you everyone for joining. We hope this is something that you can take to your customers and something that could be useful to them. So the demo was very hospitality focused, but it could be used in other industries. Anyone that needs a way to keep track of work tickets, tasks on a daily basis, education, transportation, manufacturing. So yeah, give a call to Jeff and Kale. And I'm sure they will be in touch with you to follow up on this. So thank you all.